Yeah, I started this like segment video with like a big ass plate of food in front of my face, and I'm going through the stages of denial of whether I should like eat it or just pause the video. do like do like what every other YouTuber does, and then like clip my like segments so that I like always like my tone is never shifting. And I'm always saying the right thing, and I never stutter or cuss or say any bad things. But I'm living through the stages of denial, man. I got to accept it. I'm depressed. I can't eat my plate of food. I gotta go through the final stages of denial and accept that I cannot eat and talk about this at the same time. So, let's talk about the stages of denial just briefly. First, you got denial, refusal to accept reality. Then you got anger, frustration, resentment, and the blaming. Blaming you, blaming me, everybody but themselves. Bargaining, making if only promises to a higher power, right? And then depression, deep sadness, withdrawal, and feelings of hopelessness. And then finally, the fifth and final stage, acceptance. The gradual acknowledgement and integration of the new reality. Ah, yes, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Mudahar, Sungrad, Hassan, Casey Tron, Denom, Frogons. And don't forget Sean the Black, token black guy. The denial, man, the denial. Yeah, 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 yeah. Can you imagine your boy, the man, the hated, the 40-year-old, you know, unsubscribed, unwatched? Like people watch me behind a VPN. Guarantee Hassan. If not on like a semi-daily basis, he gets like his editors and his peeps coming in. Yo, there's this guy or girl, whatever, in like my video. I don't know if it was about Hassan, like if I mentioned him directly in the title of the video. But they were yeah, they were towing that line for their hairy mans, and I gotta bring him up because what's up with your sideburns, Hassan? They look a little lacking in the density department. The hair seems to have evaporated. Like, is it because it's like on the edge of your chin, around your ear? It's like erosion, erosion, or maybe it gets salted by the sea. The saltiness for all your sweating, it just bleaches them. It whitens them. The solidification of your salt on your beard, your neck beard. Yeah, how many? I don't know how many times if he doubled or tripled down on like trying to get people to kill Ethan's wife. What the fuck? But here we're at right now, the stages of denial, because I think Hassan is one of those people that is bouncing back between, I think the second point and the fourth point, right? Like he obviously is in denial, but he's very angry and he's depressed about it. And he does a lot of bargaining with his like chat about like, oh, Asmongold, he's far right, dog. Real talk, like these neo-nationalists, these guys. Yo, did you see those people trying to make their all-white neighborhood? How fucking retarded they look. Hey, you wanna know why I'm bringing this shit up? It's because these guys have their head up their ass so fat, hard, so like much that they get a guy like Asmund Gold, right? And they'll probably think he's Jewish just by his name, or like what I mean. Like they'll like bash him for his appearance. Like yo, people don't know this about Asmund Gold. And again, I am not a representative. He doesn't know me. I'm just a fan of his. But like from what I gather from being like I guess an on and off again viewer of his channel, I've been watching him actually a lot lately. This current year, 2025. Uh, he said it the best, and he knows what it is, right? When you're ugly, people will treat you poorly, and they will use your appearance as a reason as to why they don't like you and why it's okay to treat you badly, right? So he knows all too well how the shifting of opinions and like how people really think, like without the filter of like the smiling in your face and like the bullshit. Like he knows that a little bit better than most people do. Well, obviously a lot better than me, right? Like I get like a couple pimples, a scar on my face. I'm writing myself off, right? Asmon's the man. You can just like truck through pretty much everything. And speaking of trucking through, yo, up here in Canada, right? These Punjabis, these Sikhs, these turban wearing, toilet scrubbers, because it serves a dual purpose, right? Wiping and scrubbing toilets. Um, they like to set up like these trucking scams, these tow truck scams, these all these like employment scams to not only volumetrically hire their own or people who are like loyal to their causes or people that they can exploit personally, but also to smuggle, to do nefarious things. Now, I wouldn't put it by me that the Sikhs had a hand to play in smuggling guns into Canada and like the increase in the gun crime and this and that. Because in the past they have been, caught with these materials and etc. Right? So why am I bringing this up? Well, I think Canada is dealing with the stages of denial when it comes to the Sikhs because you know what? America, they're just not having it. They're revoking the H1N1 visas. Remember that scare? The Americans remember that. They're like, they see all these Indians, skilled Indian workers coming through. They want to come through and like stay in your country and possibly sponsor their families to come in also to their country. So you can replace the entire demographics of, African Americans, Hispanics, all the people, the diaspora who've lived in, contributed tax wise, all that shit to America for generations, right? Bled. Some of them even like, signed up for military service. All for a bunch of people, right? And I'm not gonna lie and say that like Hindus are some like cold ass motherfuckers. And, like they're not gonna like they're not perfect, obviously, but like a lot of them they do have a large amount of empathy and foresight and forethought and etc. Blah blah blah, right? So when you see this Sikh guy, right, who does a jackknife U-turn at on a highway, right, and then just like insta kills like three people and I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because maybe he's like not an English native speaker or this or that, but like he was stoic and cold the entire time. Like he didn't show any fucking form of emotion to, to the interpreters, to the courts, to nothing. And I had to give it like a lot of thought, like why these people like this? Because I grew up in Brampton, right? Well, 10 years, whatever. Lived here 10 years with my parents. Trying to move out, but like, house side Toronto is fucking ridiculous. Like the prices are, what? If I'm gonna put a down payment on something, I want a return on my investment. That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean? And if I have to redo all the shit because it's all old, and then also you got the security issue, also, who you living around, because again, these Sikhs, they're so insecure, they're so mind-bogglingly like criminal, right? That not only are they covering for each other, like these criminal acts of like smuggling this and that, but like the worst ones, like pedophilia, child grooming, like gang rapes. Well, I'll just say gang rapes, rape gangs, as as the author of what? Why did I forget it? I was about to say she wrote the book of J.K. Rowling. No, she is J.K. Rowling. She's the Harry Potter author. She's saying it too. Everybody's saying it, and it's only in Canada that we're experiencing those stages of denial where we think to ourselves that yeah, the government, the news media, they have our best interests, right? And we're waking up to that reality that it's not the case. We're not safe. We're not secure, and most importantly, um, we're at risk because we literally, yeah. So, oh damn. So yeah, this is the guy. So this is Austin Matthews, Austin Taylor with a U. Cool. Austin Taylor Matthews is an American professional ice hockey center and captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this is the guy who, when we were doing the charity and here in Brampton for the hockey game, he didn't want to speak to City TV. He just, and I obviously I don't speak for the guy, but it goes without saying, like the level of corruption that the news and the media have experienced and are like putting people through. So, like nobody really trusts them. Nobody wants to talk to them. And I bring that up because even though this was like big, big news in America, this Sikh truck driver, Harjinder Skunt, running, doing that jackknife U-turn, whatever. I think that's what it's called. It's just like fucking U-turn. It just like insta killed them because they were going so fast on the highway and they didn't know that the guy was just gonna suddenly make a U-turn and then like obstruct both the lanes instantly, like a fucking retard. And I'm like, for the longest time, I was like wondering, like, what is he holding? What was so important that he couldn't wait till the next overpass to just, do it normally? And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, like, do they actually, understand? Like, they understand, like, the gravity, the depth of their situation, right? Like, he's not like questioning like why is this happening or what did I do wrong. Although like if you watch that old lady who went into Target for like 7 hours, yeah, you'll think otherwise. And then it dawned on me, the reason why they don't care is because they're dealing with those stages of denial where they know for a fact that they are part of a group of people who have polluted and physically demerited and decayed the world while simultaneously leaving that nonsense behind in their home country to come over here and do much of the same. So when people are like, where all this pollution come from? Why is there all this garbage piling up in like these garbage bins and this and that? And as much as I want to say it's a municipal problem or it's a garbage collecting problem, it's like it's a Sikh problem. It's a Pakistani problem. It's a Punjabi problem. It's these dirty ass people who are in the country. They don't want to leave. They want to take over. The Sikhs are such cowards. They want to like push for a Khalistan, a Sikh state in India. I'm like, okay, so what's stopping you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here, just like, why don't you just head on down, right? And then I guess they're just cowards like that, and that's the way of the world. They're more than willing to like say that with the protection of Caucasians and their police force and like the majority of the people who pay taxes here are indeed Caucasian, African American, whoever, and they're all looking at like these fuckers like, why? What is it? What do you guys want? And it's simple. It's white women, man. I'm telling you, that video I made is a masterpiece. It is. It is, Hassan. It's a masterpiece. I know you guys are in denial of my they run to white women video on YouTube. I swear, man, like it is something that I want to go to high schools, right? And just play in like a gymnasium in front of all the kids. Let them all see that video. I'm dead serious. I want them to all see that video. It's educational. It's phenomenally educational. It's like one of those things where you enlighten these kids with a sprinkle of reality. You know, it's it's a tough pill to swallow that we're all in denial about. Like, you know. Oh, 1 second. And in true fashion, the Sikhs be bitches, man, bitches. So like, how you gonna tell me this? You've been coming at me for like better a part of like 5, 6 years, right? All because I wanted to wear, lipstick, nail polish. I like to jog outside, whatever, right? And you find it funny to like follow me around, harass me and stuff. But then when it comes right back at you, you gotta go into the cops. Yo, if you a Sikh, use your fucking bitch ass turban to why? Cause you a bitch. You a bitch. Sikhs be bitches, man. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. Yo, Sikhs be bitches. Bitches. Huh? Trying to fucking, come at me and shit. Yo, this is so racist. This is that. Yo, I want to sleep here. You don't like it? Then shut the fuck up. And it's not racist. It's actual fact and reality, right? If Sikh mans are gonna go out there with their Paki mans, right, and rape, right, rape gang, then what is it? What it is, right? There was this one video by predator poachers, here in Toronto, and he went to like I think Kitchener, and as he's like setting up this thing and stuff, he wants them, excuse me, to meet in them. I'm guessing like he didn't know there's gonna be like 4 or 5 cars showing up with like mans with turbans and stuff. We're here from Brampton, to rape a little kid. Rape, rape, rape a kid. They're here to rape kids. The Sikhs, not only they stink, they fucking scam. They want to smuggle in all these guns. People get killed. I wouldn't be surprised. 8-year-old kid. She's like, I think it's a he actually. Javon was sleeping in his apartment building with his mother, and just like that, someone rolled up on their house, fired a bunch of shots, and one of them unfortunately struck and ended his life while he was being held by his mother. And when you see these Sikhs, right, especially that guy who did that U-turn, jackknife, and among others, like, this guy named Jaskarat Sidhu, who did the Humboldt crash, like, they have this, like, maybe they're coached by their lawyers or whoever to, like, behave a certain way, but, like, they have this level of soullessness, this, like, complete detachment from reality, like, where they don't care, and they're just in, I think, perpetual denial of the current situation that they're in. And he was like, he wanted to stay in the country despite the fact that, like, he killed all those people. And yeah, he's just straight up scumbag. And same thing with this truck driver, this what's his name again? Whatever the fuck, some skunt, some Sikh skunt, and he has no like fucking emotion to him. He doesn't care. He's more pissed off that he's had to work so fucking long for this trucking company and maybe just like buy a little bit nice clothes here or there, but like he doesn't understand the language that well. Nobody really likes him, and it's that air of reality, the atmosphere, that you know it is what it is, right? Like, you have to constantly, you know, do what you gotta do. Like, these people want to tell you that, you can't, stand up for yourself, right? And they say, these fucking cops, they say they're gonna fucking make sure that these Sikhs aren't gonna fucking do burnouts and this and that at night. Let's fucking see that. Let's fucking see that. I'm pretty sure they're full of shit. Like, they just want them fucking, pedophile votes. Because everyone's in denial, man. Like, Hassan, you're in denial. Why people don't like you? People don't like you is because like you want to call for the deaths of so many different types of people for various reasons. And it's like, let me ask you something, like real talk. Like, how much of a threat, militarily speaking, is Gila Klein? Like, don't you think that there's people like higher up, like from Netanyahu going downward, that you would want to call to the death for, rather than just like your basic, you know military secretary or whatever the fuck. And speaking of which, I'm a bad empanada. It's just like playing a Call of Duty game. Oh, you gotta shoot this secretary. What a fucking ugly fuckling. Like, why is your side so fucking ugly? And not only ugly, Hassan, if you're really about that Middle Eastern life, stop fucking waxing your fucking eyebrows, shaving your sideburns. Let the hair, the filth of your fucking rodent face be shown to everybody. Let them see the real you. Stop hiding. Stop living in denial. Because this idea that you're air quotes attractive, it's because you're basically impersonating Caucasians, the people that you hate, the people that you want to change their way of thinking to better suit your, you know, scenario, your agenda, whatever. And Israel has said no to that. America is saying no to it. Other countries like the UK, they're rising up. They're putting flags everywhere. I mean, you can live in denial all you want. You, the Sikhs, the Pakis, the grooming gangs, sorry, the rape gangs. You can't be in denial of what they are. They're not grooming, they're rape gangs. Sikh and Pakistani rape gangs, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.